I can't believe I'm up this late.
I can't believe we taped this at 11. Just play along.
Dick Van Dyke. You know him, you love him, and you probably sang along with him in Mary Poppins. Yes, that Dick Van Dyke. He's 98 years old, still going strong, and living proof that charm, a bit of humor, and some key food choices might just be the secret to a long life. Let's dive into his life, the hurdles he faced, and the 3 foods he swears by to keep himself active and dancing into his 90s. Who is Dick Van Dyke? Dick Van Dyke, born in 1925, is an absolute legend. This Hollywood veteran made us laugh, cry, and get up to dance throughout his illustrious career that spanned over 7 decades. He's known for roles in iconic films and TV shows like The Dick Van Dyke Show, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and of course, Mary Poppins. His comic timing and dance skills are as famous as his grin. But Van Dyke isn't just the king of slapstick comedy and smooth-talking chimney sweeps. He's also a man who has faced challenges that could have knocked the tap shoes right off anyone else. After spending his younger years navigating the Hollywood scene, complete with a dabbling in alcoholism and smoking, Van Dyke found himself in a tough battle against those vices. Yet he came out stronger on the other side. So, how did this guy beat the odds to hit his 90s with more pep in his step than most 30-year-olds? Let's dig in. But first, before we reveal his secret, if you like this video and want to stay youthful and healthy, or just entertained, don't forget to hit that like button. The early struggles, smoking, drinking, and dancing, sometimes not in that order. In his younger days, Van Dyke lived what some might call the classic Hollywood lifestyle. Late nights, early call times, and the kind of cocktail-fueled parties that most of us only dream about or regret after the fact. Van Dyke openly admitted to struggling with alcoholism for a chunk of his career. In fact, in his autobiography, My Lucky Life in and Out of Show Business, he shared that he began drinking to deal with anxiety and pressure from his meteoric rise to fame. Add to that, he smoked like a chimney for years, which is ironic considering his role in Mary Poppins had him sweeping them. So how, you ask, did he manage to not only survive but thrive into his late 90s? That's where his secret diet comes into play. Let's get to it. 3 foods Dick Van Dyke swears by for longevity. 1. Oatmeal, the breakfast of legends. What's the first thing Van Dyke does in the morning? He starts his day with oatmeal. That's right, the same thing your grandma probably told you to eat. But guess what? Grandma and Dick Van Dyke was onto something. Oatmeal is rich in fiber, keeps your cholesterol in check, and gives you a slow release of energy to keep you moving throughout the day. Van Dyke doesn't just eat it plain, though. He spices it up with fruit and nuts, making it the breakfast equivalent of a Broadway showstopper. Oatmeal gives me the fuel to stay on my feet, he says. And if you've ever seen him bust a move at 98, you'd believe it too. So next time you're tempted to skip breakfast, ask yourself, would Dick Van Dyke do that? Batter 2. Fish, the catch of the day and every day. Van Dyke loves his fish, specifically salmon and other fatty fish that are high in omega-3s. Omega-3 fatty acids are the rock stars of the nutrition world. They help keep your brain sharp, your heart healthy, and they fight inflammation, which means you can stay spry even when your age starts creeping up. You've got to keep feeding the brain, Van Dyke says, with a smile that probably hasn't changed since the 60s. And fish does just that. It's almost like he's cracking open a can of Stay Young sardines every night. If it's good enough for Van Dyke, it's good enough for the rest of us. Chapter 3. Dark chocolate. Yes, you read that right, finally, some good news for those with a sweet tooth. One of Dick Van Dyke's go-to treats is dark chocolate. But we're not talking about the candy bars you grab at the checkout line. We're talking about high-quality dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa content. Dark chocolate is packed with antioxidants, and according to Van Dyke, it's a guilt-free way to indulge while doing something good for your body. You've got to treat yourself, he laughs. In moderation, it can help reduce stress, improve blood flow, and keep your heart healthy. And here one final extra tip: stay active and laugh often. Of course, no longevity plan is complete without a healthy dose of humor, something Dick Van Dyke has in abundance. I laugh every day, he says. I dance every day. You've got to keep moving. And while his dance routines might look a little different at 98, Van Dyke's spirit is as youthful as ever. His advice for those who want to follow in his footsteps? Keep eating well, keep moving, and never take yourself too seriously. And hey, if this advice worked for a guy who spent years dancing with penguins and flying cars, it might just work for you too. So next time you're feeling sluggish, remember, oatmeal, fish, and dark chocolate, and maybe a little shimmy in the living room, might just be the key to living a long, happy, and active life. Don't forget to subscribe for more timeless advice like this. See you in the next video.